people who start startups oftentimes have, thinking that, investors are investors, startups are startups, but investors are, people who run funds are entrepreneurs as well. They have a job to do. It's an economic job. They have to return some funds to their investors. I was curious, what motivated you to start a fund as opposed to starting a company?
Are we already recording or not?
Yeah.
Cool. Because this is something really interesting I'd like to share with you. So we have actually a group of companies. So I'm a co-founder of a group of companies. So we have three main businesses, okay? Because our investment fund.
Yeah.
On top of that, we have our media group.
Nice.
And we have not only just news outlet, we have a lot of offline, online events all the world. We hosted really a lot of countries. For this year, we have a huge pipeline. We're going to have a really big conference in Brussels, in Korea,
I saw that. Yeah.
Singapore, Thailand, Dubai, one more time. And we have an entertainment project as well.
Did you say entertainment?
Yeah. I don't want to say GameFi because me personally, I don't like GameFi concept at all. We can talk a little bit later about it.
Yeah.
But we have an entertainment project which has a lot of different aspects, a lot of products, games, comics, videos, nice lore, some digital stuff. All these things, okay?
Phygital, okay, I got that,
Yeah. So the point is, we are not just an investor, okay?
Okay.
So we are, let's say, entrepreneurs in our spirit, okay?
Okay.
And this is kind of another aspect of doing investment business. Why? As soon as you just talk with an investor, they have just one business, they have just an investment fund.
I mean, it's easier to focus, right? If you do just one thing.
Yeah, and actually at the same time, it's very difficult for the investor to understand if this kind of investor didn't have a previous entrepreneurial background. It's very difficult for him or her to understand, let's say, why entrepreneur, why a startup needs something. Okay?
Because they cannot fully empathize, put themselves in their shoes.
Let's say they are on different sides. They actually play in different teams. Of course, a lot of venture capital, they like to come to the entrepreneur and say, okay, what you need from me, I can help, and actually nothing happens.
Yeah,
I've heard that. The problem is, if you understand pain, if you understand what kind of value you should bring, why you ask? You just come and you bring this value, yeah? Because you understand pains, you understand real needs, because you have the same experience. This is one point. And the second point is, in my personal opinion, as soon as you have a group of companies, you can leverage your investment business because you can support your portfolio companies in different angles, okay? Because, even it's probably not easy to fundraise, but as soon as we are in upcoming trend, it's easier and easier and easier to fundraise. We're going to have a lot of helicopter money in the market. And the thing is, we'll see money is cheap.
Okay.
And on top of money, you need to provide a real value for your portfolio companies.
And with the media arm, I guess that you can provide a lot of value in terms of signaling to the market, providing publicity.
Of course.
But I didn't entirely get, what does the entertainment arm do? I get what the investment arm does. I get what the media arm does. That's pretty obvious. But what's the secret with the entertainment part?
So long story short, we are very bullish on the house, on the way and the principle how we can scale Ethereum. So we are very bullish on different L2s. And we're especially very bullish on linear ecosystem. This is L2 by consensus. And we have the biggest entertainment project in this ecosystem. We have the biggest entertainment project in linear ecosystem. So it includes several mobile games, several desktop games.
It's like a game studio.
Kind of, but it's a little bit broader. Okay. Not only games, but we have comics. We have some, again, digital stuff, some videos, lores, different things.
Okay, I see it now. I minted an NFT on Linear, a couple of months ago. So I've heard
Linear Park?
No, Foxy, I think.
Foxy, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard from many folks that Linear is one of the next big things. But back to what you guys are doing. So I'm curious whether once you were starting out, you set out initially with the goal of having these three parts of being, a part of this, final vision, or it just so happened that you were, interested with funding, interested in media and this entertainment, unit, and it all came together. Was it part of the vision, or was it something that you already had and you decided to put under one roof?
Good question.
Yeah.
So actually, me personally, I got my first Bitcoin literally, 11 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah? Unfortunately, I didn't hold it so much
time. So you know what? It's important to take profits.
Yeah. And the thing is, me and my partner, his name is Vadim, and we, have invested in different startups and primary market, secondary market, of course, as well, for a lot of time. So we've been, engaged in investment business for a long period. We have invested just by our own. Then we decided to establish our own fund and join our forces and work together. And then we just had an idea. Okay, so on top of the fund, how we can push it? What kind of secret sauce can we have? And the answer for us is an ecosystem. Because if you even take a look at very traditional industry, a lot of top 1 American investment funds, actually, they have their own media groups as well.
Yes. Yeah.
And this is a really big push for you. Not just for portfolio development, but also for deal flow.
Deal flow, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And this is a good business itself, by the way.
Media can be a really, it can be tough, but if you love to create content such as you and I are doing just now, it can be a lot of fun. Okay, so you essentially created an ecosystem, but going to your investment arm, what is your investment thesis? What kind of founders are you looking for? I'm intentionally saying founders because you're probably not. I mean, founders have to start startups, but usually people who invest, they invest in people, not in LLCs.
Yeah. So as soon as you invest, it should be flexible. If you invest in thesis, you cannot just go through 5 years in our industry with the same investment thesis. Okay.
Yeah.
You need to be flexible. And in my personal opinion, it's very, very difficult to bet on exact winners. Even in my personal opinion, it's completely impossible. What you can do as an investor, you can just predict and you can observe some upcoming trends for next 3, 5, 7 years. And you can just invest in different players in this trend, and that's it. Of course, you have your scoring model, you have your diligence, you need to find right people with right mindset, etc., etc., etc. But at the end of the day, it's impossible to say, okay, this team will be the winner. There are so many, components of the success.
It's an extreme sport,
right?
I mean, starting a startup is a literally, you have to be literally crazy to do it because upside is nice.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of upside, but downside, there's a lot of downside as well. And also, then investing in startups is a
I'll answer on your question in 2 parts. Okay,
please.
The first part is regarding the way in what kind of technology, in what kind of trends we believe. Okay, and then I'll answer what kind of people we believe. Okay, because there should be a match in these 2 sides. Yeah. So regarding a trend, okay. What kind of things we are bullish on? We have a very experienced internal R&D department, so we do research a lot of different things. We're bullish on several things. The first one is we're extremely bullish on zero knowledge. Me personally, I do believe it will transform the whole tech industry really a lot. It's not only about Web3, okay? It's about the whole life around. It's about medical, it's about political systems, it's about compliance, it's about security, even traditional gaming. I'm talking about Web2 gaming. Okay. So many cases around. Also, we are super bullish on fully homomorphic encryption. Actually, no, we are bullish on some hardcore math. And I really like some topics which 3 or 5 years people thought it's completely impossible. And then they find a solution how they can act in this kind of field. So fully homomorphic encryption exactly is this topic. Also regarding Web3, we are bullish on modular approach. We are bullish on DeFi, and we're bullish, of course, on entertainment. Because, in my personal opinion, for 95% of users, they are not very interested in very complicated products. As soon as you are going to do some, extreme, perpetual DEX with blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's just for geeks. But the market is not about geeks. Market is about retail users. And you need to provide a good user experience, good user interface, good product approach, and some fun stuff. So we're bullish on these kind of things. Regarding founders, it's extremely difficult to answer. Of course.
That's why I asked.
If I had an answer, probably I would invest only in top guys. Of course, it's impossible. So I do believe in two things.
Yeah.
First is focus.
Okay.
I think it's impossible to build a unicorn if you are trying to build, dozens of solutions in the same time. It's completely impossible.
I've heard that thing, said before.
You need to be actually all in. As soon as there is some backup plans, you have 7 projects in parallel. You cannot fundraise for project 1, probably fundraise for project 2, etc., etc., etc. In my opinion, you cannot create, a really big story.
Where do you see work-life balance fit in that?
For entrepreneurs, for startups, I think there is no work-life balance. Okay. And for me, there is no work-life balance as well. I'm not the guy who's chilling, with some cocktails
by the pool, and whipping your entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, it's become a sort of a controversial topic, but everybody is free to choose for themselves. Right. Work-life balance is gonna mean one thing for you and one thing for me, and everybody should be happy with their own choice. Sorry for interrupting you. I just wanted to ask that real quick. Okay, so focus and a strong work ethic.
Yeah.
So what's next?
And also, I do believe, there should be. If we're talking about really complicated product, there should be a truly partnership.
What does that mean?
So, in my opinion, really complicated products, they are built on the edge of different expertise. And it's impossible to have just one person who will accumulate all expertise. It's completely impossible. So you need to have, kind of series of different partners. And there should be a really nice synergy between these partners. Because, that each startup will face one day a lot of issues. And only true partners can overcome and outperform these issues.
How do you know to recognize whether they are true partners in that sense?
Yeah.
Because if a startup is not going through dramas, it's probably not going fast enough to succeed. I think I know exactly what you mean. But how can you recognize whether there's a really symbiotic and partnership relationship in place?
Of course, the best scenario is you can see a track record of this partnership.
Of course.
It could be probably from another industry, completely another industry, and we see these kind of people, they already face some issues, and they are working together for a couple of years. Everything is okay. They faced ups and downs.
They know each other well.
Downs are actually better because everyone's happy when everything is good. But what will happen when everything is not good? Okay. And the second point is, I do believe the partnership can become one day a friendship, but partnership should not start from friendship. Okay. Partnership should start from a cold head, and you should understand you leverage your experience. You have some strong sides, you have some weak sides, and your partner can support you on weak angles. Okay, as soon as you just come in a partnership because he or she is a nice person, you can just chill together. It's not about the business.
Nice. Thanks for answering my question so completely. So we had the focus, the work ethic, the true partnerships,
Right.
and overlapping and symbiotic knowledge and characters. Is there anything else that you would add to that?
No, actually, there are a lot of aspects.
Yeah.
A lot of aspects.
I mean, obviously, we are oversimplifying it here. I am oversimplifying it, but I was curious to both hear what is it that interests you and to relate to our audience.
I can tell you one really interesting factor, which is probably one of the key factors for me.
Please.
The founder should be extremely passionate. It's for me, it's a kind of red flag if I have a first meeting with the person and the person is and I don't see the person is all in. I don't see the person believes this idea will transform the world.
How
is it for the person just some regular stuff for this bull run? Okay, we can earn some money and that's it. But actually, I have that, and actually maybe
I have a menu.
Yeah. And sometimes I have meetings with founders and they start with, okay, we don't fundraise actively, but maybe we will do that, Come on, guys. I think if you are going to do something big, you need to be extremely involved. You need to be extremely in this kind of idea. You need to be, really electrifying person. And I want to see this kind of passion. Even maybe I have some doubts regarding the product market strategy, regarding user acquisition, even unit economy. But I understand this person will do everything to perform. So for me, it's really high potential. I'll invest in.
How do you measure that?
Well, I can tell we have very complicated model. We have some smart guys. Everything we have,
probably you do.
Of course.
Yeah.
But it's just necessary part. Without that, you cannot have some initial due deal. But the final decision we take, we have a match or not with the founder. It's very important.
It's about the intuition, is what you're telling me.
Yeah.
It has to be. I mean, because you need to live with that decision for a long time. You're not going to invest in 500 startups.
Yeah.
You're gonna choose very carefully what you do. I mean, and that's okay. I mean, that's a fact of life. That's a fact of business because it comes down to what kind of person you are and what kind of person is someone you want to be partners with.
And I can tell you very honest.
Yeah.
When you just you've seen 100, 200, 1K startups, one day you just understand you have this kind of feeling. Is it a right move or it's not the right move? It's like sixth sense.
Yeah, it takes time, but it's you cannot do that by doing Excel.
Yeah.
I mean, you might be able to, but I don't know too many people who could do that. So for all the founders who are just now listening to our chat, what's the best way to reach out to you, and what should they tell you, and how should they tell it to you if they think that you might be the right partner for them, and they perhaps now think, okay, I see now that I am a good partner for Alex and his team.
Yeah. So I do believe for the founder with the really big idea, the founder and the product should not be just in time of the market. And time is really a critical thing. But the product, the prototype, the MVP should be ready a little bit before the right time. Okay? So the founder, the team, the product itself should be ready just before the right momentum. And in this case, they'll get the biggest market share.
Yeah.
Okay? So for me, it's really interesting to talk with the founder who declarate they are going to create a product not for just the current momentum. They are going to create a product which will be released in 1 or 2 years. As I understand, they have enough gap to build something to present, something to try some hypothesis, etc. So you need to be, a visionary to have this kind of feeling. This is the first point. It's kind of, general stuff. Regarding some, obvious and, let's say, technical things. In my opinion, it's very important for you as a founder how you are going to work with your fundraising process. Because,
I'm sorry, what
with your fundraising process.
Okay, gotcha.
Because there are so many cool ideas, so many, genius in the market. But guys, they really don't understand how to deal with fundraising, especially in the bull run. Because, funds are going to deploy as much as they can. They come, they say, okay, guys, why you have so low valuation? Let's just pump it up a little bit. We'll put a little bit bigger tickets. Why not? Yeah, you as a founder, especially first-time founder, you just, got this kind of tickets and you heard 1 mil, 2 mil, you want to fundraise as much as you can. In my opinion, it's a wrong strategy.
Of course it
because
is.
you should fundraise exactly the same amount you need for specific part of your business. It doesn't make sense to, just fundraise too much right now. Of course, you should, have a forecast for your burn rate. You need to understand how you're going to scale your business. You need to have kind of reserve, for some, let's say, black swan, whatever. But you should not fundraise in day one for next 10 years. What's the point? You have a prototype, you have users, you'll fundraise in an organic way, you'll fundraise more with higher valuation. You will not dilute yourself, you will not dilute your pre-seed investors in day one. So for me, it's very important to understand the way how you deal with investors.
So are you saying, you might have said it and I might not have understood it. Are you saying that if you raise too much money, it can make you a bit slow or make you a bit non-ambitious?
Not only about that.
Okay.
You just dilute yourself too early.
And one day you lose motivation.
Yeah. And one day you'll lose a lot of upside. That's the first point. The second point is if you fundraise too much in day one, okay, in next stage of fundraising, you'll have to raise your valuation. But you already fundraise with a high valuation. And if there is a mismatch with your
if you're doing a down round.
Yeah, with your traction. And at the same time, there's downs in the market, in the macroeconomy, so you will not be able to raise your valuation. And so it's very bad. It's really bad to fundraise the second round with a discount to the previous one. Of course, there is some cases, even successful cases, but there are successful cases because we know about it. And we know about it because there are some, good story about that. But trust me, there are 10 times, 100 times more unsuccessful cases with founders who work in this kind of strategy. So for me, it's very important to educate founders to fundraise in an organic way.
So your talk at ETH Belgrade was, if I understood correctly, about DeepIn and let's say the state of play in DeepIn. Could you just quickly share with my audience what is the state of DeepIn in 2024? So
the thing is, in our R&D department, we do issue a lot of reports, a lot of researches in different collaborations with top 1 names. Mostly we do it in a way of public goods. Okay, so we just contribute in this way to the industry. We just take interesting topic, which is actually interesting for our investment thesis as well. We researched a lot about zero knowledge, etc., etc. And our last report was about the pin because obviously it's a hot topic.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I was curious why you didn't mention it when you were saying when you were talking about what kinds of companies you are.
I can tell you very honest.
Please.
It's overhyped for now.
Nice.
Valuations are really crazy. So for me as an investor, it makes sense actually to invest in the beer market. For now, for us as a fund, it's not very smoky to invest immediately.
Nice.
There are so many crazy valuations. We have deployed our capital during beer market. in a bull run, you investor need to exit and wait for another bear market. This is smart strategy, in my opinion.
So regarding Deepin, does reality match the hype?
Good question. It's really impossible to answer immediately.
Yeah,
we'll see it in next months, but for sure I can declare we are in the age of two transformations. We are in the age of AI transformation. We are in the age of cloud transformation.
Okay.
And I would actually highlight the first wave, 5G. And they came from Web 2. Very big trends. And Web 3 is going to leverage these market trends with the centralized principles. So in each category, we have really nice projects. We have actually outliers, and they push these trends, but in the way of a decentralized world. Okay. Of course, the general hype about AI is pushing, GPUs markets. And of course, as soon as we have a GPUs market, we have the centralized GPUs markets as well. By the way, it's a fun fact is, if you're going to rent some GPUs, you'll find GPUs on the centralized markets are cheaper than in centralized markets. So it's quite a fun story. Yeah. So as soon as there is a big trend, of course, entrepreneurs, they are trying to find how they can merge this kind of trends with Web3 world. And of course, we already see a lot of good cases.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for sharing, the info about your fund and your thesis and what you're looking for in founders. And I would hope that by the next time we see each other, you might have had at least some chats with founders who will hear about you and reach out as a result of this chat. I wanted to follow up with the thing that we chatted about previously. So when it comes to creating startups from relatively small markets such as the Serbian one, you want to go out to the global market and to provide your offering to as many potential customers as you can. And I was really curious to hear something about the business culture of the place where you live, and that would be Dubai and generally the Emirates, and geographies where you are very active, and that would be many across Asia. So could you tell me, how would you describe the business culture in Dubai?
Actually, just a step back regarding Serbian ecosystem. For me, it's a big advantage of, let's say, a small domestic markets.
What's the advantage of it?
You're not just going to, you need to be global from day one.
Yeah.
Because in countries where it looks like they have a big domestic market,
like Germany.
People are going to try something to do in the home market. And the problem is they can lose 10 years because you have tried something, okay, you already have some results, etc., etc. But the problem is you need to have a different approach and different mindset to be a global business.
I agree with you 100%.
And as soon as in 10 years you understand you are a leader in domestic market, it's very difficult to be a global company in one day, even impossible. You'll need to spend another 10 years, and there's no guarantee you'll be successful. We know so many cases companies are successful in the domestic markets, but actually they fail as soon as they are going to be a global players. So for me, it's a really nice advantage of small countries with small domestic markets. Founders really need to be global from day one.
I agree completely.
So regarding Emirates, what I really like,
it's very global. I mean, there's folks from all around the world gathering in that spot.
Right.
I mean, am I wrong with that?
For me, I identify this country like this country is created by modern people for modern people.
What does that mean? I think I might know what you mean, but I would like to understand better.
Yeah. So people and leaders, rulers, they are visionaries, okay? And they respect the traditions, but they focus on modern approaches how to create the better world. Okay.
Are you talking about the rulers of Dubai?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's not only about rules. It's of course about rulers of UAE, Dubai, but it's about the whole spirit in this country.
Could you give me an example?
Several examples.
Please.
So first of all, it's very easy to come in and start to build in this country, because you understand the country is looking for talents, and the country is extremely welcome for talents. Okay? So you don't need to fight to be there. You need to be smart. You need to have vision. You need to be a leader, and of course, you need to
have some initial capital, I guess.
You need to actually capital is, in my personal opinion, is not the problem for the founder. If you have an idea and you have a vision, you always have an opportunity to attract capital. If you just believe in yourself and things you're working on.
Okay.
But what you really need, you really, you of course, you should respect rules, but you understand in what kind of rules, in what kind of way you should follow these rules. Everything is easy, everything is transparent, everything is fair, and you understand you are in a unique place where everyone on the same level in front of the law. You don't need to worry about security, etc.
Corruption,
of course, and you focus on your achievements. Okay, and you understand you are in the capital of the world, because it's very easy to reach different markets and to have a headquarter there. And this is really awesome because you have this kind of ecosystem of the people, and you understand it's not just small program, and you as soon as you are inside, you see this is a real strategy from the government, but it's kind of foundation from the government, which is driven by leaders, local leaders and global leaders, who are going to be part of this, I would say actually the whole world transformation from UAE, because we'll see a lot of awesome projects, a lot of awesome global ideas, which will be founded or which are already founded in UAE, but will be scaled globally really soon.
So if we say that, let's say German business culture is very structured, very formal, and we could say that some aspects of the American business culture are being fairly informal, being friendly. Let's say that Israeli business culture is very, very direct. How would you describe the business culture of Dubai?
Actually, I would not describe any other ecosystems, any other cultures. Each culture is unique. And I do believe actually that each culture exists because there is demand for this kind of culture. So the only thing is I cannot compare. I can just describe as this how it works, how it looks like for me in UAE. It's very open-minded.
What does that mean?
actually, I would actually answer in two parts.
Yeah, please.
First of all, in a very formal way. The law system, the legal system is very modern. So you can work with different innovations, and at the same time, you are completely compliant with a local legal system.
Okay.
Customers are protected, entrepreneurs are protected, everyone understands rules of this game. Okay, so it's very clear for you. You should not, spend your time and think, okay, how we need to structure that. Is it legal? Is it not legal? Everything is very transparent. Okay, and you can even ask some support from different government agencies, and they will help you to understand how to be fit in this legal system and how to deal with that. Okay, it's very clear, and in my opinion, it's very important for innovations.
Yeah,
there's a lot of innovations in a lot of countries. They're not
they're not agile.
They're not fitted into the current legal system because legal system is really big traditional machine, and it's not kind of modern stuff. It's not created by modern people.
I see what you mean.
This is the first point.
The
second point is I do believe actually for the founder, it's very important to be in the right community. It's really difficult to disrupt when you have a lot of people who don't believe in innovations and they are not on the same page with you. So in UAE, in Dubai, as soon as you have a really huge worldwide community, you can fit in this community and you understand, okay, this company is working on solving this kind of issue. This company is working on this kind of issue. Wow, I even didn't know something's working on it. So you are in the same direction of innovators. And of course, it helps you a lot because you have people, you can share your ideas, you can get really valuable feedback, and you understand that you are not the only soldier here.
Yeah, that makes sense. Moving over to Asia, you mentioned that you guys are active in many geographies, including Hong Kong. I'm gonna guess China as well. Could you share some insights or tips if I were to decide at some point in time that I should try and incorporate Asia as a focus for my business? What should I know if I hadn't any contact beforehand?
Good question. So I really believe in Asia. For me, this is a really awesome market. Why? Because a lot of people, they are trying just to be in a nice place, but they need users. They need the markets, okay? They need the retail users. So in Asia, there's a lot of retail users. Really huge user base.
Consumers.
Philippines, Vietnam, Thailand, etc., etc.
And those are not necessarily developing countries from 20 years ago. These consumers are not necessarily rich, but they can be and should be a part of your strategy.
So Hong Kong, Singapore, of course, they are global hubs. But they don't have so many users inside of these hubs. But they are perfect places to reach this kind of region because for a lot of people, probably it's kind of complicated just to dive deep into a completely different culture. So in Hong Kong and Singapore, you have a mix of Asian and Western culture. So it could be a little bit easier to start your Asian business trip from this kind of points. This is the first thing. The second thing is, of course, about legal system.
Okay.
It's very easy. It's very transparent. English law in Singapore.
Yeah.
So a lot of people actually they act worldwide, and they have their legal setup in Singapore, and at the same time they actually don't live there, and even they don't operate in this kind of market at all.
Yeah.
It's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's very easy to enter this part of the world from
these two hubs.
These hubs. In my opinion, me personally, I'm a big fan of Asia. I'm a big fan of Hong Kong and Singapore. In my opinion, and a lot of actual locals, especially from Singapore, if we talk about this country, they agree. For now, Singapore looks like Switzerland for the Asia.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think Singapore. Of course, this is a very notable player, but it's more, let's say, focused on Asian part of the world. Yeah. At least even from logistic perspectives. Yeah. For example, from Dubai, it's easier to fly in different countries to reach some regions in comparison with Singapore. Yeah. But as soon as you are working in Asia and you want to especially create, actually it depends what kind of business you're working on. Of course, you're working with finance, for example, with investments. You have a lot of family offices, you have a lot of hedge funds in both places, in Hong Kong and Singapore.
Yeah.
But probably if you are working on, let's say, just consumer aspect, maybe for you as a founder, a startup, it's easier to be presented in another country, for example, in Malaysia. Yeah, it's just 1 hour flight from Singapore, but it will be really cheaper to put your team there, even rent some office, etc., and you'll have the same presence.
Do you guys have any offices in Asia?
Not for now. Not for now. We have some initiatives regarding some incubation process. We do have a lot of partners in both places. They have their offices. But me, my partner, we are living in UAE.
Yeah.
So we do travel a lot there, but we don't have a physical presence there.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so you mentioned that countries like the Philippines and Malaysia have a bunch of users. How should founders who haven't really, in our ecosystems, founders are usually thought about going to the market via the US or Western Europe. If I haven't thought too much about reaching out to consumers in Southeast Asia, other than booking a one-way ticket to Singapore, what should I know after watching our conversation? What are some key pointers for me to know if I want to get customers and consumers from these markets?
It's not a simple question.
It's not. It's a very hard question, and I don't necessarily have a big expectation for you, but I was wondering what your reaction would be, so that I can build up on it.
So people in each part of the world, they have unique user behavior.
Yeah.
Okay. They have unique culture, and there are so many aspects because your product should be fit with the local culture, even in some marketing campaign, in some socials. You need to even understand that daily user behavior.
Yeah.
Why they don't use, for example, Facebook, why they use another socials, why they don't use WhatsApp, why they use another messengers. A lot of aspects. Even the way how they react to different key opinion leaders, how they react to different advertising. The problem is, in 99% of cases, it's completely impossible to get, successful cases from Western part of the world and just duplicate it in the East. Impossible.
Yeah.
You need to understand how to work there. In my personal opinion, even you are successful in the West, as soon as you're entering East, it's a new venture for you. And you need to have a local team. You need to have local supporters. If you are a big company, maybe it makes sense to think about a local partner, a local joint venture. You need people who will guide you. Maybe you, a great person who been successful and lucky enough to, for example, got education in Asian country or lived there before or worked there before. Of course, it will be easier. Perfect match.
Yeah.
But as soon as you just left the airport, okay, you'll see some familiar brands, but
it's a different world.
It's a different world, right?
Yeah, perhaps with similar advertisements. Okay, so Alex, it's been really great chatting to you, and I really appreciate you taking the time to help myself and my audience to be more successful as entrepreneurs around the world.